The Republican Party would probably prefer that you not affiliate them with PDF files, as many people are doing with Donald Trump and the Epstein cover-up, and to prove that they're not protectors of PDF files, they've decided to do this. The Senate of Utah's, the president of Utah's Senate did a law change that helped a teen who was charged with child rape. And the details are terrible. And there's no reason that any of this should have happened, but this is what they decided to do. So last year, there was an 18-year-old staring at potentially years in prison, accused of having sex with a 13-year-old. Plea bargain negotiations weren't going anywhere. Then the Utah Legislature, based on an initial suggestion from the president of the Senate, Stuart Adams, changed the law. 2 months later, prosecutors offered the 18-year-old, who is related to Adams, a plea deal. The teen would plead guilty to reduced charges, face no additional jail time beyond a week served, and would not have to register as a sex offender. And to be very clear, as bad as it was, like, take a look at what this rules change would do, and then how they applied it to this guy when there was no reason to even do it, even if you accept this rules change. So previously, as adults, 18-year-old high school students who had sex with a 13-year-old could face a charge of child rape, which is a first-degree felony. A conviction on that charge generally requires registration as a sex offender, while a conviction on the newly created lesser charge does not. Basically, they're saying, if you're 18, but you're still in high school, you're not really an 18-year-old. We're gonna treat you as if you're younger. Okay, that is a strange way to do it, but okay. The thing is, the law was not intended to be retroactive. There was nothing in it that said you need to apply this to people who've already been caught. They just decided to do that anyway. Again, for a person who has a family tie to the guy who brought up this change. And that's what they're moving ahead with. Again, the interest is in protecting the I know people are like, have a problem with the terminology I'm using, velvet goldmine. It has to do with the algorithm. They will literally bury the story if we use the full word, and then nobody will see it. That's why sometimes we have to leap through these hoops. I'm not trying to do like a joke or anything. It's just that for people to know what the news is, we have to jump through these hoops, unfortunately. In any event, once again, they're there protecting the people who are preying on kids. What do you think, Sharon?
Well, it's a long-standing practice in America that children are throwaway, okay? From being in factories to this kind of predatory, disgusting behavior that has a lifelong effect on children who survive it. We protect adults. We don't protect people who can't vote, and we treat them as property. It stinks, it sucks. Anybody who does this, I don't know how they can look in the mirror. I don't know how people can support, like, this is your litmus test. I don't care what else you're working on, don't support you because of this.
I know, it's just like these sorts of stories happen, in states all over the country all the time. We try to cover quite a few of them, like, when people get caught. Yeah. We had the legislator that we talked about, I don't know if it was 1 week ago or 2 weeks ago, who again had all this like material on their computer or whatever. Like, it just pops up, and it's amazing. Like, when so many Americans, man, you can't get someone to represent you and your actual interests. In this particular group, if you're preying on kids, there's always gonna be somebody. Now, maybe in this particular case, you have to actually be related to him, but they get a startling amount of representation, even in the federal government. In this case, I mean, I guess he hasn't technically broken a law by this, but like, how does he stay in the Utah Senate? They're supposed to be like a religious place or whatever. Aren't there supposed to be some values that go along with that? And this is how, like, whoever runs against him, how is this not your entire campaign? You had a person who had sex with a 13-year-old who is going to suffer consequences for that, and you swooped in and you saved him. And oh, by the way, it's a relative of yours. That is absolute madness, and it shouldn't be allowed to stand. Again, we cannot act surprised when politicians do stuff like this. When they do stuff like this and suffer no consequences that it's up to us to provide to them. If we don't, then yeah, they're gonna say crazy things and they're gonna do crazy things. They are gonna be as bad and as corrupt and as immoral as we allow. And goddamn, in America, do we allow a lot of it. And until we stop doing that, they're only going to get worse. I've been covering the news for a while. It gets worse every year. Let's move in a different direction.